This is a game I had not too long ago there, where survivors swapped last minute to 3 toolboxes and a key. I immediately knew what was happening. Obviously, this is going to just be some sort of DPEP squad, so I just want to show this game and go over some statistics while I was playing it. Now, this actually wasn't the craziest. I thought it would be a lot worse than it was, but it really does go to show how powerful survivors are. So, you can see here, we immediately find the first survivor roughly about 15 seconds into the game. I'm trying to use my power to play around this log wall, but unfortunately long walls are just too strong, you can't really play them. So right there, unfortunately I couldn't make that flick. But going on here, you can see I get a little mind game. Unfortunately, she tries to window type me, which obviously isn't going to work. So I get my first hit 40 seconds into the game, which is pretty damn good, especially for finding a survivor at a long wall jungle gym, which is a pretty busted tile. I also get a pallet out of the way pretty fast, so we're roughly 50 seconds in. We've got a pallet and we've hit a survivor. Here I use my ability once again, trying to get her. Unfortunately, I bounce off this. I do that, I bounce off something behind me, which completely screwed me over. I actually might have got her there if I didn't bounce off something behind me, but that's just the game being buggy. Well, she's going to keep playing this long wall, which is unfortunate because it's just such a strong tile. You can see here, I try to mind game and all, but it's not enough. She's just, she's got like, but I do actually get her here. So that's the first down, roughly 1 minute and 20 seconds in. Which isn't too bad. We can see here we've lost one generator, which also is less than expected, but we do have corrupt intervention, so losing one gen within 1 minute with corrupt is it's not ideal, but it is something that happens. We actually do make it here for a pop on this. We don't hit anyone, but we are going to get the pop, which is pretty good. At the minute I'm just thinking I want to defend this hook. I think it's probably the only way I'm going to get easy downs here. So I'm going to do that. Try and get into a position where I can use my ability to try and hit this guy. Unfortunately I can't. Right now I'm really looking for a hook trade because I know, as you see, we lose 2 generators 2 minutes in. So they've got a generator each minute, which isn't too bad for them, but it's also not crazy. Once again, so we're trying to play around this long wall jungle gym. I spot the Nia here, and I'm going to try and go for a down on her. I know she probably is dead hard or something, and she does, which allows her to make the long wall window again. I'm going to try and play around it, but unfortunately it's just incredibly hard to do that, especially as BLIGHT. So you can see here, she just keeps looping me around it, and I know what she's going to try and do is make the pallet outside there, and she is going to run to it here. And there's nothing I can do about this. I lose my 3rd generator 2 minutes and 40 seconds in. At this rate, these are pretty fast gens. So she's just looping me around these unmined gameable pallets here. I can't drop chase, because if I drop chase, she's just going to get in a gen. So she's back to this long wall again. BLIGHT can't really use his power that well at this. You can if this further messes up, which he does here. But so I get down on her, and at the minute I'm just thinking they're obviously on other gens. There's no way that other gens are being worked on. So my plan is to just try and capitalize on altruism and hope that they come in here and try to save. So I see what barbecue she's not. I'm going to try and stop it because I think maybe I can get a pop on it, which I do. So I'm going to try and go here for a hit, and I do. As you can see here, they're not that great. They're not very good at looping. They're not very good at dodging my attacks. They're just rushing the shit out of these generators with their items and perks and stuff, which it just goes to show how little skill that survivor takes. The survivors can just, the fact that they can beat me this hard simply through just bringing a bunch of toolboxes and just splitting up in gens is really a testament to how imbalanced this game really is, because you shouldn't be allowed to do this. This would be the equivalent of like a Wraith with an Ebony Mori being able to just completely destroy a team, even a really good survivor friends. These are a couple of bad survivors. Well, they're not bad, but they're not necessarily good at all. Just rushing gens and completely destroy me because there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, I try to play around this loop. But unfortunately, there's not really much BLIGHT can do at these loops if the survivor just plays it well. So this game really isn't going too well for me. I know they're going to try and go for the save here, but I've got this gen here and I've got her injured, so I'm going to try and do is down her. And I can see this other girl here trying to get in this gen. So there's not really anything I can do. I'm in a lose-lose scenario. They've got 3 gens. I know they're in a 4-man survivor friends. They've got these safe pallets. So what I'm trying to do is just trying to maybe capitalize on altruism or try and get a down or 2. They run into a main building, which is an absolute god loop for any killer other than Nurse, obviously. So here I get a nice wee down on her because I predicted where she's going to go. So I get to pick her up and hook her again. That's another hook for me, but it's completely worthless because at the end of the day, I know I'm not going to win this game. These guys, they're not very good, but they aren't idiots. They know not to just bomb hooks and shit while injured and let me down them. You see here, I get her down, but there's nothing I can do because there's another survivor. That other survivor can just go unhook. There's 4 of them, and there's nothing I can do about that. Unless I immediately got her down in the ground here, but that's not going to happen because she's a pallet. I need to keep her here, and I cannot break this pallet because if I break this pallet, she's going to be able to run away and force me to pick her up. So I want to try and keep her here. But this pallet is just very strong. As you can see here, she dead hearts through me. Her perk saving her once again. You know, not her skill. It is a perk which keeps her from go down. That arguably would have probably won me the game there because I would have been able to come back to that hook and then maybe re-down the guy who got unhooked. But there's no point because, you know, dead hard just completely saves everything. So they reset here. And I'm going to try and down her, so I'm going to see what's going on. I go for a rush. I'm going to slide off Shaq. She's going to step out, which is good. I slide off the tree, which causes me to have to reset. So unfortunately, I slid off that tree, which lost me that down. Similar to the way I bounced off something behind me earlier. So you can just see wee things here which are screwing me over. Little bugs with blight, unmindgameable loops, and the fact that these guys just have really good generator pressure. There's nothing really on my part I think I did bad. They did 5 gens in 5 minutes. They did roughly a gen every minute. 1 minute into the game they did a gen, 2 minutes into the game they did their second one, and then so and so. There's nothing you can do as that. If they're doing a gens at a steady rate of 1 per minute, as a killer your chases would have to be about 20-30 seconds, which isn't going to happen unless you're a god nurse who does not mess up like one blink and slugs. But that's not going to happen. You can't do that because I have to deal with loops. I have to deal with these unmindgameable pallets which don't even allow me to have a chance to down the survivor within a reasonable time. And then these huge maps with these generators and the survivor splitting on them. There's just really nothing you can do in these situations. I was mad after the game, but eventually I calmed down and just accepted that there's nothing I can do against survivors like this because that's just the way the game is. Now, it's unfortunate that the game is like this because I would like to see a day in Dead by Daylight where these things aren't possible for survivors, you know, where they can't just sit there and bring a couple of toolboxes and immediately win against virtually every killer unless they somehow find some sort of tournament nurse. It's really not fair, and even the worst part is even if I did manage to do very well this game and kill one off early, they would have just escaped with the key they brought. So it's a lose-lose-lose scenario. There's really nothing I can do unless I manage to kill them all by the time they had like you know, 3 gens left. So you can see her ID pip. Yeah, this was a pretty horrible game, and it just really does go to show how imbalanced this game can be sometimes. So I just wanted to show this game. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.